You stand up and welcome everybody. Welcome at least 3 people. Welcome, brother.
This billionaire in
I
you.
do. I still see. Good morning.
Good morning,
See the
sis.
millionaire. Good morning. Good morning. I
Good
can see the
morning.
millionaire. So please celebrate the billionaire. Celebrate the billionaire. I was talking to somebody. So we're talking about some people that that made it. So the man was saying that in the next 20 years or 30 years when he make it, people will say he's lucky. And truly, people are saying he's lucky now. That's our president. So when he was doing the right thing, what I've said before, these principles don't fail. They work every time. That's why they call them principles. It doesn't care your color, your business. Immediately you apply the principle, you get the solution. Life is like a combination lock. Immediately you get the right code in the right number, the lock must open. It doesn't care who put the lock. So what we do here is we come regularly to learn those building blocks, those combination locks, so that when you put those locks, the result is inevitable. I have a coach that will say, just trust the process. If you do the right thing, there's no way, if you want, women know recipes. Immediately you put the recipes right, you get the result. It doesn't care. So that's the recipes we've come to learn here. How to put it right. And immediately you do that, you get the right results. It doesn't fail. This is an amazing place to be, where we get 10 billion, 100 billionaires every 10 years. What I can tell you is that the universe, that God that brought you here, knows that you have that seed of billions in you. It now depends on you whether you nurture it or you left it, you didn't do anything about it. It's like potential. It's like talent. Not everybody that have that talent celebrate it, but you need to coach, you need to nurture it, you need to give it time with patience, perseverance, and very soon the billions will come on their own. So we have an amazing topic today that I'm just excited today because how many of us are into personal business? Let's up your hand. Let's clap for ourselves. Everybody is into business. Business is life, life is business. Whatever your name is, you are in the business of your life. And as I always tell my little boy, when I'm talking to say, when they ask me, I say, mind your business. Is it part of your business? Daddy, I say, if you say no, then let it go. Because the reason is that if you don't mind your business, our mentor says either you have one or two problems. It's either you don't have a mind, as you have gone the other side, or you do have a business. And I've sold us, all of us have what? A business. Living is a business. And if you learn the business of living, life will be sweet. Life will be amazing. But if you don't learn any business, you'll just be wandering around. So today we're going to talk about effectiveness and efficiency in workplace. And I can assure you our teacher is motivated, is going to inspire us, and is a man of experience. He has done it. We don't bring people that will come and tell us theory. People that have done it, because I have my own, as this man said, he said, if any man want to talk, let him talk about what he knows, because everybody have enough guesses already. So he's going to give us from his personal business and we're going to enjoy it. But before then, I want 3 people to volunteer, because we have to know whether what we are doing is making results so that we can continue it. So if there are 3 people that want to give us, since you've been coming here and you have a testimony, can you please raise up your hand? I will start with myself. When every December, our mentor come and give us a year, our target for the year. So last year, my target was to open another branch of my business in another place, in the Butemeta. So that was what I was focusing. Every day I wake up in my formation, I have an hospital on the road that is within 5 minutes from FMC. I will say it. It was like it was not going to work. But Last year, September, God did it. We opened the branch. Before we open our branch, we're doing, we don't, here we're saying about business here. It's not just to push money and throw. The most important thing in business is what? The knowledge, not the capital. So I went there, did my normal studies. I called my friend, we said, this place is good, let's start. And we started, we opened together. I just discovered the day we were opening that another person opened 2 streets from us, the same hospital. I said, why now? I came here, there was no hospital here. But I can say that within 6 weeks or 2 months, we were profitable in our business. The business became self-sustaining after 6 weeks. Let's after 2 months. And since that time, there have not been a better month. If they sell so amounts this month, the month after they sell more, and patients have been coming, we thank God. It's been an amazing experience because with a lot of fear, because most of our businesses are on the creek in the riverine community. Now we are afraid that if you come, won't all these people swallow us? But because we've had enough knowledge so then we started that one. Then immediately there's another target that we do so amount of money, we should have enough money to buy a building on that street. So we went to go and price. Then we had a meeting with the manager and said, we have 1 year. By the time we're doing 1 year anniversary, the money to buy the building must be somewhere. We cannot decide to buy it or not. And will be 1 year next month. When we did management meeting end of last July, the money was already available. What I'm bringing to us is that our 3 pillars, we should not forget them. Savings. If you don't save, you are not safe. Let's not stop saving. And now we don't call it saving, we call it what? Storage. I love that name, storage. Just keep piling it up there. When you wake up in the morning, see it, you smile. Before they start giving you the problem they have in the business place, at least you have already smiled. Then another one is what? Goal setting. Let's set the goal. Every year, everywhere we are getting better and better. So you must say it yourself and set goal. That if last year your highest earning was 10 million naira, you don't expect to pray to get the 10 million naira this year. You must move. If you want to follow our mentor, you have to multiply by factor of what? Factor of 10. Thank you very much. By factor of 10. When I came to the mentor last year, I wrote my target. He just teared the paper and said, which kind of target it is? Multiply it by 10. Of course, I couldn't get the 10, but I got times 5. So you can see I was better with him than with myself. Because I was saying with all our power, with all our selling, we cannot sell more than so amount of money. So my mentor said, no. That's our president said, no. Should people multiply by 10? Minister my 10 like I should just fall down with his president. I don't know. Even this one, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But because I believe he knows more than me, I don't follow person. They say follow person where Sabi road. I'm blind. A blind man doesn't follow a blind man. He knows the road, so you should just what? Follow him. It's like the Google map. Do you argue with Google map when you know the road? You follow. So he has told us the path from poverty to prosperity. Why do we want to waste our energy? Let's just align by setting goal, by storing money, and the last one is what? Personal development. Because you have to take care of your life as a business. Your life have to get better. Your health have to get better. Your relationships have to get better. Your family has to get better. Everything around you have to get better so you can have an holistic way of life. That's what we are all going for. I'm very sure we are going for it, and nobody is going to be left alone. So let me get one more person to join us in testimony. Just I don't want to force. I have people I wanted to call, but I just said today I'm not going to call anybody. Volunteer. I need one more volunteer. What you have gained since you have been coming. And if you are gained nothing, tell us you have gained nothing so that we can probably go over the next, so that we can use that one to plan. Because whatever we do this year, we used to plan against next year. Doc, let me come to you. Welcome, my boss.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
I will just share my own experience since I've been coming here. To say the truth, the one I appreciate most is peace of mind. You see, in the course of doing business and the rest of it, I have made efforts to get knowledge from so many avenues. I have been to business schools. Some things were taught there anyway, which is also very useful. But here, in those places, it's like you have been taught how to go after money. Let me use the word how to pursue wealth. But here we have been taught how to attract money to yourself effortlessly. You will never hear it said any other place. And then in the past, so you'll be forced to do some things that will take your time, that will take your energy. In those days, you want to belong to one um, Yoruba tennis club, a code this and that, just to meet people. But after coming here, I just realized you don't need to meet anybody. You just need to keep on developing yourself. You need to know the principles behind all these things they have been talking about, to the extent that I was bold enough to retire from the service of Lagos State so early enough, about 5 years ago, just to face the little practice which I have been struggling with for some years. Because when I heard that whatever you focus on will grow, and it has actually grown to the extent that I was able to, within a very few years, think of me setting target I want to have our own site, which, unlike before, I will run from the location and go to somewhere where, but I just look at area whereby they say about 5 years ago, the land here you can't get less than 60,000. And I said, on this road, I must get a land. And I actually did. As the time I was negotiating for the land, it's like the money was nowhere to be found. So when the owner agreed to sell, the money came without borrowing money from anywhere, just like you will pay within social period, and it came. It was amazing. We started the construction and the rest of it. And we are at a very advanced stage now. And it is still from the same business that we are getting. It's just by setting goals. I could remember last year when I went to Abeokuta for the business meeting. Then I shared my experience, and it was with his customer. He said that, okay, if you have been doing all these things and you have been sustaining it, keep on doing it. What I did, set goals, make your affirmation every morning, and some other things. And it has always been like that. So coming here has never been a loss. It's just to keep on doing it, improve yourself, and just trust the process. It works, as it has been said. There's no doubt about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I love that word. The process, trust the process. The principle always work. If you work, the principle. That's what I always add to it. The principle work if you work the principle. If you don't let people deceive you that Nigeria is bad, this one is bad. In this Nigeria, there are people that are making billions every day. I had a contract, I had a business to do with a company. Dangote, I had to go to Dangote Sugar, and I was there. And I know that before 12 o'clock, he instructed them that they must bring out 40 trucks of sugar, 40 trucks of salt, 40 trucks of cement must be on the way to North. If you calculate all those things, you can see that by 12 o'clock, you are ready. I had an uncle that every day, my uncle there used to sell 2 million eggs in Lagos. We were all in Ogun State. We just park all the trucks. The first call is by 5 a.m. We wake his driver. Oh, T. Loni. And imagine if he was selling those egg. I don't know how much they sell egg. Let's say 10 naira, 10 naira. I don't know how much they sell egg now. Let's say 10 naira is egg or 20 naira. Multiply by 2 million every day. And all he just needs is to wake up. So what I'm bringing out is a system of blue ocean. The ocean is large, not red ocean. You fighting with somebody. It's where you attract it with peace of mind. I like the way he put it. The way you do business with what? Peace of mind. If you have done it, if you are in this place, you're supposed to do business with peace of mind. Money should be looking for you, not you running after bankers. And that is what we are going to do. This has been an amazing year. We've had a lot of good topics this year. I love the topic of last month. And today we're going to have a wonderful topic today. Please let your mind be open. Just get the principle, then apply it, then wait for this results to come. And very soon, the result will make you smile. Thank you very much. Let me call this story to come and continue.
Sir. Good morning, generous billionaires. With a difference, we attract. We don't chase money, we attract. We attract money.
Yes.
That's what you said, sir. And that's how it is. We attract. We actually, if you check your lives, you will see that you've been attracted. Attracting. I will not say more than that. Been attracting. Can we have this?
Okay.
Apologies for coming in late. I had to quickly be somewhere before coming in. Yes. Am I okay where I am?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm introducing the speaker for today. Some of us know him, but you can't know somebody well enough, and we shouldn't take him for granted. Is somebody that is, if you've listened to him before, you will know and expect much from today. So let me go ahead and introduce our speaker for today. His name is Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf, Medical Director, Healthcare Innovator, Business Coach. He is a distinguished medical professional, entrepreneur, and speaker dedicated to transforming healthcare in Africa. He holds a medical degree from the University of Ibadan and the University College Hospital, along with certifications in leadership and management in global health, project management in global health from the University of Washington, and health financing policy for Universal Health Coverage, WHO. As the Chief Medical Director and CEO of Siloam Group of Hospitals, he leads a cutting-edge urban secondary healthcare facility in Lagos, Nigeria. His leadership has driven innovation, excellence, and accessibility in medical care. He co-founded the Accessible Care for Everyone, ACE initiative in 2014 to bridge the gap between essential medical services and the average Nigerian, demonstrating his commitment to equitable health care. A passionate advocate for maternal and child health, Dr. Yusuf organizes health outreach programs for pregnant women, offering education, subsidized care, and empowerment. Through Siloam Medical Center, he also trains traditional birth attendants and local midwives, further strengthening community-based healthcare. His contributions earned Siloam Medical Center recognition as the most effective business by SME_NG. Beyond medicine, Dr. Yusuf is a renowned speaker, business coach, and facilitator at platforms like 110 Academy and the African Business Summit. He specializes in personal development, entrepreneurship, and mindset transformation, inspiring professionals and business leaders to achieve peak performance. Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf seamlessly integrates healthcare innovation, leadership, and philanthropy, making a lasting impact on individuals and communities alike. I'm sure there's more, but let us stop here. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Good afternoon, General Billionaire. Let me just take a cue from what we started talking about. And we also the posts. That's the ad for this seminar. And that's when the chairman, the president, talked about business is life. And if business is life, invariably, you could also say that life is business. He said it's simple algebra. And that means that in order to understand business, if you understand life, you can actually find corollaries in business. And if you understand business, you can also understand life. And I started to think about that when I saw the video. And from personal experiences and from some people I've spoken with, there are sometimes at different times of your business, you might be frustrated about some things you're seeing that are not things you intended to be there. And if you're honest enough, they might be there because of who you are at the time. And like I always say, it might not be 100% correct, but I think if you look at the lives of a lot of people, they are where they are because of who they are. So certain things, certain habits, certain things you permit would definitely lead to certain events. So, for example, for someone who is industrious, who is meticulous, who believes in delivering excellent service, if you put that person in any organization, it's just a matter of time. The people at the top will notice that person. Am I right? Now, it doesn't matter where the person started off in life. Either the person was born with a silver spoon or not. The fact that that person is industrious and is meticulous and delivers excellent service, wherever the person is put, the person would thrive. Now, it's the same thing if that kind of a person starts a business. Now, because they are meticulous, because they believe in excellent service, because they are industrious, you probably will see that in their business. Am I right? Now, if such a person that have said all of these things is wasteful, if you put them in a business where all they need to do is to deliver service, they are not in charge of resources, they will still be noticed at the top. They still will stand out because for their strong suit, for their strength, they are suitably placed where they should be. That same person, if you don't now, because they are noticed at the top, and then by virtue of time, providence, they rise to the top, and now they are in charge of allocation of resources. That weakness will show. So it is not just enough to be industrious. It's also important to be frugal. In our journey to being billionaires, we talk about industry, but we also talk about frugality. Industry, our ability to actually generate an income, our ability to generate financial capital. But then, if you generate all the money and you're wasteful, what happens? You're left with nothing. Now, I said that to link to what we're going to talk about today. Because if your path to the billions is business, then your business has to be scalable. Except in some very few business that just that one business. For example, you're able to build a unicorn. A unicorn business is like flutter wave that somebody comes to buy in billions of dollars. Do you understand? But even the one business that is Flutterwave is a business set up to be scalable. That's why somebody else will find value in it to realize that even though I'm paying billions of dollars for this business, I can replicate what these guys have done. You understand? And then generate much more. So there's no way you're building a business that will generate billions that's not a business that is scalable. And one of the first thing about scalable businesses is that the business thrives in your absence. Because scalable means that you can replicate it. You can, and we talked about scaling business, we talked about scaling vertically, horizontally, and all the likes. We're not here to talk about scalable business. But any business that will thrive in your absence means that simple. Either you're there or not, they can deliver the same level of service. Now, in building a business that thrives in your absence, it means that the business achieves its goals all the time. And what makes it easy for you to scale is that it does not only achieve its goals, it achieves the goals with as little resources as possible. You understand what I'm trying to say? And if we look at it that way, then we would understand why it's important to consider these two topics. Well, there are three topics. One, culture. Two, effectiveness. Three, efficiency. So that I don't get too far ahead of myself, why are we discussing these things? Because they enhance productivity and performance. Every business is set up to be productive. There's something we're producing, either products, like we're selling goods, like you're producing bottled water, or service. A very simple example is what I do. You coach, you teach, you are in the healthcare space. Now, either it's product or service based, what you're set up for is actually to be productive. Any business that's profitable means that they have goods and services that customers are willing, able, and ready to buy. For those of us in business, you understand that there's something to be willing. It's the fact that you are willing does not mean that you are able. To close the sale means that the customer is not only willing, is able, and the last one is ready to buy. But before we even get to that, you have to have a product that is enticing enough for the customer to be willing to buy, even though they are able to do. So these two helps to enhance productivity. It means that if you are currently producing at a level, let's say of 100,000, if we apply this very well, you can actually double, triple, or even 10x your productivity by simply considering these two things we're going to talk about. And then it ensures the performance throughout the value chain of your business. It also improves decision making and problem solving, because if you actually apply the things we talk about into making decisions, in solving problems, it gives you actually solve things better. We talked, I can't remember what seminar, but when we're talking about scaling also, and also increasing revenue, I talked about the fact that it's not all problems you throw money at. In fact, if you sit with a problem long enough and you try to learn, either from books, people who have actually dealt with similar problems, or even sit down, because your mind too, you develop it every day. You are able to come up with a solution that might not require spending more money. And that would be a better decision made than the one that, okay, let's just buy, let's spend money. And then, of course, when it even has to do with your staff, you are able to use data and also the things we're talking about today, that is effective or efficient. Whatever decisions you're trying to make, whatever solutions you're coming up with, asking that question, is it effective? Is it efficient? Would actually make sure that you're making better decisions when it comes to deciding what to do or solutions for whatever business problems present itself. Now, a well-oiled machine would actually lead to lesser level of friction amongst the parts. You understand? Even we think of the pepper grinding machine or any machine itself, you are told to apply the oil. The reason why the engine oil or the oil to the engine is to lubricate the parts. Now, lubricating the parts reduces friction, and reducing friction means that it will work better. The balls will roll faster, the gears will roll faster. It means that these two actually gives you a well-oiled machine, makes your business well lubricated, such that once the relationship or the connection between one unit and the next the is seamless. When what I have to depends on what you produce, and if you produce it in the right quantity at the time I need it, I use it, I'm moving on to the next unit. I'm going to enjoy my work. If I don't have to wait on you to deliver your own product, which is a raw material for my own stage of production, I probably would not have frustrations at work. If the resources needed for my work is present, I would not be frustrated. Those are just simple examples of how it can actually boost employee satisfaction. We know most times when we talk about boosting employee satisfaction, when we talk about making our employees happy, the first thing almost everybody think and talk about is money, salary. It's the same way of not throwing money at every problem. There are other things like when you actually take, like we've talked about previously, that we encourage feedback. If you sit and encourage a open door policy with your employees, and you sit down and try and find out where their pain points are, you realize that if you solve those things, it improves their satisfaction, and you have not even added to the salary. Because salary increment is good, and I'm not discouraging it, but probably gives a good feel that lasts maybe 2 or 3 months. Because after a while, they get used to that level. They won't even remember that they were earning 50 or 100K or 200K lesser just 3 months ago. Because as long as that pain point is still there, the euphoria of increased pay will go after 3 months. Then the pain point, because that pain point, they see it every day, then they go back to complain. And you might feel that these guys are ungrateful. But the truth is that you have not approached it the right way by sitting and finding, and that helps in improving satisfaction. Sometimes increasing salary might not be an efficient way of boosting satisfaction. Don't worry, we're going to talk about these two things. And I intentionally am taking time to explain this. And then it drives business growth and competitiveness. A well-oiled machine will deliver all the time, every time. You understand? So if you're known, brand is what you're known for. If you mention any brand right now, something comes to your mind. Because over time, by virtue of your engagement with that particular product or their services, there's something you get from it. Such that some people cannot do without those things. Very simple is Coca-Cola. We don't encourage that, Abi. We should drink only, but let me use, once I tell you Coca-Cola, what comes to your mind might be different from every other person, but it's dependent on your experience with that product. Now, if what you experience from Coca-Cola is that it's, I can't remember the word they used to say, but it takes care of your thirst. It's very refreshing. And you know that each time you drink it, you get the same feel. Anytime you want that feeling, what do? You buy Coca-Cola. Quite recently, or in the last 1 or 2 years, where you buy the Coca-Cola and it tastes diluted, right? How do you feel when that happens? Disappointed. Your money has been wasted. Think about it, about your customer. Each time they come and they don't get what you promised, because they are disappointed. They feel they wasted their money. You might end up calling them and apologizing, and which is not bad. But the truth is that what you are known for that transaction, you did not deliver it. This that we're going to talk about ensures that you're able to deliver it. And if you deliver it, they keep coming back, which is what increased customer satisfaction, which also will increase your profits. So, what are these elephants in the room that we have been talking about? Effectiveness and efficiency. In simple terms, effectiveness is doing the right things to achieve your goals. Efficiency is doing things right with minimal waste of resources. To make it simple, effectiveness, doing the right things. Efficiency, doing things right. I'll give you like 10 seconds to get it. Because sometimes the right things right, what are we trying to talk about? Let's simplify it. If you say that so the slides will be sent to the groups, so you get all these things. Now, if you say, let's say, maybe Coca-Cola is the way to go to the, okay, let's come down. So I was watching an Instagram live of a popular chef or cook and all that, a world record breaker. So let's talk about restaurant, let's talk about food. So let's say that, and now, jollof rice. This is not Ghana or Nigeria jollof. But when you even talk about the Niger jollof, they are different. Now, if I actually come to you and you're a caterer, I'm like, I want party jollof. Everybody in this room knows what I'm talking about, right? If it comes out and it's not tasting like party jollof, you know. Even though people would say that the rice was actually sweet, but it was not party jollof. Now, if I say I want party jollof, you are only effective if the right thing in that scenario is that party jollof. Do you understand? That's the goal. What we want is party. You are known for, in fact, your nickname is party jollof. It means you already know how to do. No, and party jollof and smoky jollof, are they the same? Do they mean the same thing? No. Yeah. So let's use smoky jollof. My friend's wife cooks smoky jollof, and that's her nickname. They call her Smoky because anytime T on a day D that she delivers that jollof rice, it is smoky jollof. Let me just a side gist. Her husband had to come to my house like 2 weeks ago. So she came. She wasn't supposed to come with him, but she came. As soon as I landed, the next I just saw my wife talking to her. The next thing they were in the kitchen. Smoky jollof came out of my kitchen. And I'm going to try and use it to explain. Don't worry. We'll make sure that this gist is not wasted. Now, I heard, we need to go and buy this thing. We don't have this. He said, don't worry. We can make use of this. And I thought, since they are making use, it still will not be same. It still came out as smoky jollof. Now, it means that if she was going to produce that rice for business commercially, she probably won't use some of the things she used. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But because it's in the house, she used it. As far as I'm concerned, the taste is the same. If I sat on a board, do you understand? I probably say that you're getting the same result both ways. And the one you cooked in my house, you used lesser ingredients, probably cost you less to produce than the other one. It means that the one you produced in my house was more efficient, even though we retained the effectiveness. Does it make sense? As we go on it road, you will get. So you see, the gist did not waste. So at the level of effectiveness is strategy. That's high of decision making. This is what our business is about. This is what we want to achieve. We want to ensure that when patients come into the hospital, they are attended to within 10 minutes. That is a goal. And they spend nothing more than 15 minutes in the consulting room. Some total of everything, they are done in 45 minutes or 1 hour, and they're on their way home. That is a goal. The right thing, right? That's brand. But will it make any sense if you achieve that goal and then at the end of the day, do you understand? Because that's a goal, but to make it efficient, you want it done in 45 minutes. Do you understand? But in trying to do 45 minutes, the doctor do not spend the required length of time, because doctors here would know the time you spend with A is not the same with B, based on the complaints and what you're trying to explore. But because the guy has been told 15 minutes, and then he rushes everything, and then they deliver 45 minutes, which is the efficiency, but wrong diagnosis. Are you guessing what I'm saying? Because in order to talk about efficiency, we have to ensure that we are clear on what effectiveness means. Because look at, you don't climb the ladder fast only to discover it's been leaning on the wrong wall. So, what is the right thing is important. First, once we get it, and the more we do that, the better we actually become at it. So you might not necessarily, and as we go on, you know where you are in your business concerning certain deliverables, and then you know how to apply it. Everybody might know the right thing. The next thing might be, how do we do it the right way? Are we together? Okay. So let's start with effectiveness. What are the strategies for effectiveness? How do we, and it's simple, because effectiveness is the right thing. How do we decide and determine what is right? How do we ensure that this thing that we've said is right is communicated from the top to the least person in the organization? How do we ensure that is what we do? First is this: what are our goals? and what is the priority. So I want to be known when they mention smoky jollof. You understand? In Nigeria, if they are going to mention 5 names, I want to be in the top 5 names. That is a goal. Do you understand? That is a goal. And what are the priorities around it? I want to be able to deliver maybe 24 hours notice. You understand? You know, sometimes some people, I don't know, caterers, I'm not sure, they might tell you, you have to give me 48 hours. Maybe their own is, but our priority, we want to deliver on time. Right on time. We don't want, in fact, it might even not be the notice, it might be, we want to ensure that we deliver always 2 hours before the time agreed. That's the priority. So it's not only the product, how the product will be either delivered, how the product, it could be delivery, it could be in the format in which it will be delivered. Probably, okay, I don't want to deliver in the regular rectangular takeaway plastics. Maybe ours will be different. Ours will be pentagon. Ours will be just something. Those are the priorities. When you set the goals, then you can then break it down and see how to actually do it the right way. Then, if you're looking at effectiveness, you're also looking at what are the high impact tasks. There's still a slide I'm going to show some of these things, how you break it down practically. So in my line of business, these are the things I want. What are the tasks that ensures that we deliver all the time? That is why, even though it was in my kitchen, she could still produce that smoky jollof because the important ingredients were there. It could even be that however you prepare it, once it's sweet, just cook it till the, do you get what I'm saying? The bottom pots, as it's because at some point I'm like, there's smoke in my house. Do you understand? Then you turn it, and once you can do that, it still gives the taste. So what are the high impact tasks? Because one of the things, and I think is still somewhere, as much as we are building scalable businesses, we also don't want to build businesses that are wasteful. You know, wasteful also talks about even your time. Now, from what I've said, if I say one was strategic, the other was operational, you know that you as the head of the organization play more in the strategy position. Then your processes, your checks and all that ensures that the operations actually run well. So even for you, what are your high impact tasks? What are the decisions you need to make that is integral to the success of the business? Then we're in time of technology, and technology easily helps us get data. Your decision making has to be data driven. I just talked about one data now, based on my experience. What I found out, she already knew that from data, because in making meals, it's not all the time. I'm sure she had all the ingredients. But then she's realized, okay, I could still make it work this way. Or she's taking her time, like we talked about. The first thing is to learn about a thing. She might have learned, and while she was learning, like, okay, these are the important ingredients. If you don't have this, this is a possible substitute. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm trying not to even use, because there are, and it applies in every business, any product. Some things are integral to delivering what you have promised, while others are things you could actually find substance. And that data actually helps in making your decision. Because if you don't have that data, like, okay, let's now say myself and my wife now decide that, okay, let's also make, maybe we have seen it made. She substituted this one. So now that we don't have rice, can we change rice to beans and we still get the result? Do you get what I'm saying? It's actually a very funny example, but it means that we tampered with an integral part of the process, and then the results. You know, that's called a smoky. We made this rice the way you made it, but our own is not smoky. And then she starts to ask questions. She said, because she will never think to ask about, did you guys use rice? Because that's just common sense. But if you are going to be effective, data actually should be something that comes to play when you're making decisions. Because whatever I want to do, how does this contribute to what I'm trying to achieve? Then you can't talk about effectiveness without encouraging communication and collaboration. Because how do you even have everybody on the floor understand what we're trying to do if you cannot communicate? How will the work of, like I talked about, a well-oiled machine, one unit needs to, okay, so even cooking. If you're cooking commercially, probably the people who are going to cut the pepper and the onions, the condiments, and all of that are not the same people that would probably parboil the rice. If you're looking at a large, let's say you are producing for 1,000 people, it's not going to. She's going to have different people in different units. Now, if you've not communicated, this is the recipe. So we need this at this time. Once you start to boil the rice should be turned in at this time. My examples for cooking might not, you understand, but just you get the idea. Because I keep telling myself, why are you using food? Just go to something else. But once we start to parboil the rice, the onions or whatever should be ready. The pepper you have to boil. So now, if the units cannot collaborate, they can't be effective. So look at your business. Look at the different units. A hospital is simple. Now, as much as the doctor is ready to consult, if the doctor's consultation or the request for an investigation cannot be effectively communicated to the guys in the laboratory, and the patient appears in the laboratory, there'll be confusion. Because the patient is right in front of the scientist, but the scientists have no idea who the patient is or why the patient is there. Because there's been a breakdown in communication. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then, so there's no business that you would not consider effective communication and collaboration. Because if that is missing, then that affects the ability to be effective. Let's look at strategies for efficiency. Don't forget, efficiency is doing it the right way. The fact that you are trying to achieve the right thing, if you don't do it the right way, would be seen as having failed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Let's say, for example, let's even use you have a process for, so let's come to bakery. Let's leave food. No, cooking meals, bakery. So, or any business. So, bakery, we should stay with bakery. I thought about it this morning that I'm sure you're always praying. But interestingly, when I started this whole bakery thing, I didn't even think about it. So I said, I feel you pray. So let's even think, let's say bakery. And let's say it's a very simple process that we can all relate with. So you have someone at the front desk. And then when someone comes and make a request. So let's even say that this one we bake real time. If that's possible, I don't know. Let's say we'll come and say, okay, I want my bread baked. I want a coconut flavor and sugar and all of that. And then that is so, and you have a process that once they come, or you even have your bread on the shelf, and it's okay, I want coconut bread, I want donuts, maybe you have pastries too. And then the procedure is that they inform the cashier types in whatever they want, their order, and tells them that this will cost you 15,000 naira. And then they pay to the cashier and get a receipt, and then take the receipt to whoever is at where the bread and everything is, present the receipt, and then she, looking at the order, would give the bread and they go. That is the way it should be done. And because on this particular day you now have like maybe a long queue, and you have said that on no account should the person who would give bread handle cash. And because she's trying to help, she comes and says, okay, what do you want? Oh, I know the price, 15, 10, I'll collect money, and takes them to give the bread and go. If you come and you get there and then, around 1 to 2 p.m. we had, it was quite busy. Thank God for Tokwe, and Tokwe did this and that. Now, Tokwe helped to take care of the crowd, but Tokwe didn't do it the right way. And the beginning of destroying your culture is for you to pat Tokwe at the back and say, Carrie, you have done well. You can say you did well, but tell her, though your intention was good, but your execution was wrong. You understand? Because even in trying to hasten or increase the time at which we attended customers, she bypassed process. She did not do it the right way. And to permit that is because The reason why that process was like that is to also prevent against fraud. But once you permit that, because you looked at the positive side, then the day it's not Tokwe and then is another person's name who is used to keeping money, that's going to happen. Do you understand? So as much as we're trying to achieve, oh, this our brand is that customers, they don't spend more than 10 minutes once they come into our store, should not mean that we then bypass process, because we still have to follow, do it the right way. So the question will now be, how do we, when we have rush hour, during rush hour, how then do we attend the customers and still keep that your turnaround time in our supermarket or office or shop is 20 minutes? Then you now go back to your decision making, but then, okay, is it possible that, okay, at that time the guys are in the bakery, should be done? Can we have one or two people who have learned how to operate the system to join at that time? Because the rate limiting step at the time, what's causing the queue is pain. And then can we provide maybe more machines and all that? That would be a more efficient way of solving that problem while not taking away your being effective. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm saying. So when we're trying to make, I just use that so that, because that's the point of all we're talking about. Every other thing is just the same thing. Whenever you have to make a decision, you have to look at those two things. Am I actually still true to my brand? Am I actually meeting my goal? And then am I doing it the right way? And the right way also is that, am I doing such that we can cut out all wastages? Sometimes you sit down and look at your organization, you might have, maybe your staff might be 10. And if you really look at what each of them do, you might realize you don't need more than 8 of them. 2 of them might actually be redundant. What 2 people do, you can actually add it to what the others. It's about, that's also a way of making your business more efficient. Because if you have 10 people and then the workload is so light that they have their idle, you understand? You know what they say about an idle hand? You don't want to have little workshops for devil in your business. So if you find out that, if I take, what are you even doing? All I do is to greet and show them their seat. Apart from security man, there's someone in the managing your floor. You understand, man? Yes, greeter. Your own is greeter. And then the next person, so there's a front desk person. Front desk person can greet the person. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's another way to even make yourself more efficient, because what then means that it's not the money that you're supposed to pay that person. You can then take that money and distribute it into different things. Probably add more to those that will now take up that role, and then you still have some extra money to either save or also do other things. So let me just, I have said something like, you want to streamline your processes, you want to eliminate waste. So you have 2, 3 people doing something that only one person can actually do. In fact, the rule of thumb is, if I take you out of my business, will I miss you? If I will not miss you, what are you doing there? So then the thing now is, okay, since I have other needs, like we've also learned, you promote from within. If there's a need, is there some, oh, this guy, I think you have these other qualities, or we can even train you to take up this. So it might not necessarily be take you out, it might be to actually meet another need somewhere else in the business. But if you can give the person of, okay, I had this sanitary worker in the hospital, and I found out that she has I think OND in accounting. And at the time, I was trying to actually look at how we could get somebody internal. We have external, but someone internally that I don't have to, I myself or any other members of the board do not have to play that role. So you know how person tells you their story and all that. I don't want to go into details. Okay, so let me just give you let me test. So I wanted to test. I said, no, doctor, I'm not ready for that. Okay. I'm very, I say, okay, this is Friday. On Monday, I'm going to ask you about what you understand about the processing and a few things. So I came on Monday and I decided not to call her. She didn't come. And I didn't bother. I didn't chase her out, but Providence, things happened that by the next month she was not there again. Because for me, it kind of tells me it's a window into your soul. You went to school, did the account, even though we know that there are some schools and there are some courses that people do that probably they didn't teach them well or they did not learn it well. But there are a few courses like accounting. You get what I'm saying? Do accounting, probably no accounting. How many accounting do you want to do in SMC now? Basic accounting. Do you understand? Fast forward. Another sanctuary worker, quite recently. So it's a funny thing. If you're a sanctuary worker because of my previous experiences, and I just speak, if you're Yoruba, I speak Yoruba, so I don't speak English. It's just I don't understand. So on this particular time, I greeted her in English. She responded. This English is good. I started talking to her in English. She started talking back in English. She was speaking good. What did you study? Accounting. Now she studied her own and then, okay, sit down, let's have conversation. And we start having conversation about basic accounting. I told her, go and come back and she's telling me, okay, so for this business, she's even telling me about forgetting those things. But you know, when you are doing auditing, depreciation, she was telling me all those things. I'm like, two different people. Do you understand? Now, this second person, just because she started working with us, she's barely a month. She's just working because now she's processing to do her HND part-time and all of that. So I started, so conversation is going on. Do you understand? And that's why I say people are where they are because of the way they are. Opportunities would come. So for her now, she probably would, because you know, when you're bringing someone into accounting, it's not only, she won't even watch, so maybe I know. It's not only the ability, honesty, integrity, character. So we are checking, we know but the level of integrity we need for this role, we're trying to check that. I know that's it. I'm able to do that without going to employ somebody. And imagine someone came in as cleaner, because she's not going to be cleaner and be doing accounting. She will vacate one. Do you get? So that's how we think. In fact, I learned that a lot from our president. Watching over the years, having been part of his organization and watching over the years, you could see there are different people that are at the top. They can tell you where they started from. So, of course, leverage technology. Technology has come to make our life easy. It's easier to get data, to analyze data if you're using technology. In fact, you get a lot more done using technology. Now, depending on what you do at work, depending on your level of business, in fact, you can do a lot of monitoring via technology. People are coming to buy stuff from you, and you have an operating system. You understand? Software that actually helps to track how many bread we sell, how much we're selling, how much we made. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You're even able to see when your rush hour is without them telling you. So technology helps a lot. And then when one unit is working to, like those that are even in projects that do a lot of projects, they use a lot of software. I think Slack is one of them. I think Google Workspace. There are a few things that on the spreadsheet, using Excel spreadsheet, you know what unit is doing what the timeline is, and when the next guys should take. That will help you actually to improve your efficiency, because you know what your timeline is. Because one of the ways to actually do things right is also to still set goals for what you're trying to do. So the right way in attending to a patient is that the turnaround time should be maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. So whenever everybody that is attending to that patient, they have that at the back of my mind. But because I've set time, the other goals are also there. Patient satisfaction, you must call nothing. Maybe there's a patient survey after each they have to close, so you must call nothing less than 8 or 7. So now, even though you have to be fast, you also have to, you are still courteous, you are still attentive, and you're still able to carry the patient along and all. So then, of course, monitor and adjust workflows, because even when we try to be more efficient, when we try to streamline some of our processes, we still have to monitor it, because maybe we're getting it right, like, okay, can we, like I said, change the condiments like they change in my house? But we will now try it. When we are trying it, we must make sure we are monitoring on a commercial scale. Now, is it still giving us the same taste? And then we can make adjustments. So being effective and efficient means that even all the things we're doing presently and we're very effective in doing them, we have to check the process. Is there any way we can streamline it? Are there ways that we can actually eradicate? Because if you are going to leave that business and let it work in your absence, you have to ensure that these things are done properly so that the people that are there are able to continue the process. Now, like I said, we talked about efficiency, we've talked about effectiveness. Then, if you have both and you can't build a culture of both, then it will only work when you are there. When you are not there, they just fall back to whatever they need to do. And culture is simply the way of life. The culture of your business is the way of your life, way of life of your business. And like I started, the business is an extension of yourself. So what you want to see in your business is what you are permitted or what you are currently permitting. And most times it looks like you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If you look at it, you think of it, especially those of us that have done business for many years, are different, and we keep changing. We've changed from day to day, month to month, and you realize that as you change, if you don't allow your business to change the same way, like that's because you are getting better, then a time will come, you and your business will not look alike. You and the people in the business will not look alike. It might then lead to some form of even resentment from you to the business and from business to you. So that's why it's important. The culture we preach here, where you ensure that as you are reading every day, getting better every day, you ensure every member of the organization also read every day and they get better every day. About 6-7 years ago, when we started all this conversation about reading, and all, I had to tell them that in the few years we've been together, I'm not the same person that started. And my fear is I will get better, SMC will get better. But my fear is that if you don't get better, you say this boy has come to use me to advance his own life and left me behind. Because once the organization keeps getting better, those that are in the organization, they don't get better. It will only be based on sentiments that you keep them. Because they would, and that sentiment might hurt you, because they will continue to drag you back. They will slow your rate of advancement and of growth. So if we all know that what we permit is what stays in our business, it means that we are the ones to lead the charge. We're talking about effectiveness, we're talking about efficiency, you have to lead. It's so difficult for any of my doctors to not rise to the occasion when there are patients to see. Either they're supposed to be on duty or not, but they're around. Because at the time where I used to actively, when I had shifts that I go to hospital, I have my own shift. Even when I'm not on shift, regardless of the fact that I can say, yeah, you go and see. If there's a patient to see, I see. In fact, the fight with my people is that they will leave all those people that are supposed to see. Once they see, that's my nurses. Once they see, because they know I will not say no, then they will just come, doctor, please, I want you to help us quickly see this thing. And without a frown, with a smile. You understand? So when I talk to those that should do the same thing, they can't question it. When I talk about punctuality at work, when I was resuming shift, I'm there at least 15 minutes before time. So when I talk to them about being punctual, they understand. In fact, the people on the street, they know them. They say they see them running. Even it's 8:05 and average it take them like 2 or 3 minutes to get. They are running because they must be there. Because this man, because I'm a person that if I'm called for a meeting, that's a meeting where we all should be, and you are not there, that's business meeting. You are not there at the start of the meeting, it might affect the tone of that meeting. I've been in meetings like my meeting that someone who is a top person comes late. We might need 15 minutes recess because I need to go and reset myself to come back and have the meeting. So because they know that, so I can't permit lateness. So they know they can't be late. So what we permit is actually what. So when we are talking about the culture of business, is what you have allowed to stay in your business. So if you lead by example. The secret is continuous improvement, Kaizen. Because once they get better, like the president says, we should use our business to grow the people. Because the people you grow will then come back and grow the business. So if we're looking at that culture of effectiveness and efficiency, then continuous improvement must be a goal. It must be as important as delivering excellent customer service. In fact, let me tell you, that's your own excellent customer service to your employees. You know, your employees are your first customers. The customer are the secondary customers. And if you treat them well, they will treat, like Chairman says that, if you treat those who are near well, then those who are far will come. So part of improvement is also we're looking at provide training and development opportunities. So even in the things we do, training, like we've all learned, like even in your business, if the chief baker, is that what we call him, should train the others, such that what he does, every other person can do it. You understand what I'm trying to say? In fact, even in you, for you creating a scalable business or business thrives in your absence, anything you currently do that somebody in the business can do, you don't have a business doing it. If you are doing anything that somebody else can do, you don't have a business, especially when it's not a decision-making level things. When it's not talking much of strategy, if it's operational, any operational thing you do that somebody else in the organization can do, you don't have any business. Your business is to train them to be able to reproduce just the way you do. You are the one we like to see. You understand? It's the same way. I'm very passionate about who cuts my hair. But long ago, a particular barber, I still remember his name, was the one that set me free from that bondage. Because if there are 5 people, it's either I go and come back or I wait for this person is the only one. But what he did was that he started telling me that you can try, they are good. I said no. But when I go, since I'm waiting, I can wait for up to 1 hour, 1.5 hours, doing other things. I started to watch the other guys. The way he cuts his hair is the way those guys cut their hair. The way he holds the clipper is the way they hold. So, and the finished product is the same. So one day I sat down, I was watching the guy throughout. If he wants to do it, and at the end, the result was almost the same. I say almost because emotionally, it is not the same. You understand? The emotion part, the guy can't take it. So, but how was he able to convince me? He ensured that thing that he's doing, every other guy with him could do it. Because sometimes we're also afraid, we're worried that, what if I teach them? Do you understand? And then they learn and then they go teach the next person. Do you understand? And soon, the people you have taught, ensure they teach the next person. While we were working with in the hospital, whoever is MD is already grooming the person to replace him. The first time I heard that thing, it was strange. They are telling me to groom someone that will take over from me. But then, when I stayed long enough, I realized that the training there is such that you are being trained, you understand, to learn enough that you, of your own, when you are ready, you can say, I'm going. And there's no fear, because as you are going, you've already groomed someone to take over from you. So it means that bulk of our work is ensuring continuous improvement and ensuring that even though you are training and those you have trained should train the next guys. So that if it happens that, sorry, I think the speaker should not face me. So those you are training, even anything can happen. It doesn't mean that they resign, they are not happy. They could relocate, like we have seen in the past few years. Anything can happen. You have those that are not, those that are dead, and they're able to take over the place. Why am I saying this? Because regardless of who is there or not, you are still able to reproduce results. You remember when we talked about scaling? One of the things that was important is that reproduction of results, the ability to reproduce results, and then motivation, recognize and reward those who have been effective and efficient. Recognition alone, but even in meetings, calling them out and then having people either to clap or to acknowledge them it's already the beginning of even motivating them. Do you get what I'm trying to? Let them have some maybe kickbacks here and there, either financial or product based or whatever it is. And because you know why we do this? This will encourage positive reinforcement. Because the guys that are doing well and you are recognizing will do more. Those that have not been recognized want to do better so that they can also be recognized. So, what are the benefits of this culture we're talking about? I mentioned a few when we started: improve productivity and performance. Employees' engagement and satisfaction, we're bringing it back here again just to re-emphasize them. Better decision making and problem solving, and then increase competitiveness and growth. You know, in this day and age, as much as we have spoken in time past that study your customers, what they want, what they need, you understand, so that you can tailor your products and your services to answer the questions of their heart so that they can buy from you. That is one level. There's a higher level that we're talking about now. Is obsession of knowing your competitors. You should know those who are competing with you. It's not only know the customers, know your competitors. Then look at what is your unique selling point. What's your competitive advantage? Simply means what is it that you do that they don't and the customer likes. And sometimes all you have to do is, you see, this competitive advantage, we die here. You get what I'm trying to say? This thing that we do, that they don't do or they don't know, we actually say everybody must do it. You understand? And that way, and then you look at what efficient way can we achieve that. Because if you are doing something that is a secret that they don't know, finding better ways to do it will mean that you are always ahead. Because by the time they are copying where you are no longer there. Because you get better at something you do every day. You understand? Especially when you are trying to find better ways to actually do them. And then, of course, and basically, customer is satisfied, there's business growth. Okay, so just a bit of practical. I added this slide so that we can look at this as we round off the seminar. Now, these are frameworks or tools you can employ. Now, these frameworks and tools are things you employ in your personal life. Life and business is the same. You can also apply them in your business. Now, when we talk about seminars on life management, time management, we talk about the Eisenhower matrix, where it's just like this one, where you have urgent and you have importance. You understand? Sometimes some things are urgent, but this is not the frame. Sorry, let's just say this is urgent and this is important. So it might be high on urgency, but low on what? Importance. So it just appears like emergency. It's always in your face. If you are spending time there, you are wasting your time. And then some things might be important. So this is important here, but they are low on urgency. So there's something to do. You understand? But you have to focus on it. In fact, this is where you should be. If you don't do things that are important but not yet urgent, what will happen? They'll still remain important, then become urgent. Then everything is running up and down. So in trying to apply, so things that are important. So if you look at things that are important, they are low on importance, they are low on urgency, or high on urgency and low importance. These are not where you should be. You should delegate those things so that you have more time to focus on that. That's just as in how you can also check it. I think now talking, I could have even put up the chart for you so that you can, but it's just something similar to this. Then the Pareto principle. We know the 80-20 principle. So you are looking at the things to do that will give you 80% of your result from 20% of actions. Because efficiency also, another way you can define efficiency is the amount of product per unit action. Simple, let's look at, so for example, on average, how many loaves of bread do you produce per batch? 30. So how long does it take? 4 hours. So that means that productivity is 30 breads every 4 hours. Do you understand? So if I come in and say, I want to improve your efficiency, I'm trying to see how we can produce either 30 breads in 3 hours, but it might not be possible based on the process. Or how can we produce 60 in 4 hours? Do you understand? I want to start dividing it, but don't let's bring the math. But you get what I'm trying to say. So efficiency is the amount of products per unit action or time, depending on that. So in a maybe at the front desk, probably you have 3 front desk officials attending to your customers per shift. But when you looked at it, on the average, you have like in a shift of maybe 4 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours, you attend to about 30 customers. Do you understand? And then at the end of and those 30 customers, when you spread them, hardly do you have more than 3 or 4 at a time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You can then look at that. 2 can attend to those chibis at a time. And then you when you don't have those 3, the 3 of them are seated, and then they know all their life history because they have enough time on their hand. So one of the things you could also look at, sorry, you can hear me, right? So one of the things you look at also is that, so you're attending to 40 customers per shift using 3 of your employee staff, but you can reduce that to 2. That's also efficiency. So efficiency is the number of your product per unit action or time. So looking at Pareto principle is what are 20% of our actions that give us 80% of the results. It is more efficient that way to stay with those 20% of the action and don't bother yourself about the other 80% that gives only 20%. Do you understand what I'm trying? Except if those actions are integral to your product. Are we getting what I'm saying? So for example, let me just use even the hospital. I thought about this many, many years ago. That, because we started as we run an all-commerce hospital, everybody, low prices and all of that. And I say, the guy that is like in the same area, we work, we are seeing patients, everybody's happy. But the guy maybe sees 1/10 of the patients we see. But the quality of those patients, the money they pay, by the time we compare, we probably might be earning the same. But you know my overhead is more. So let's say, let's put number. Let's say on average, I see 80 patients per day. He sees 2 per day or 3. He's the only one doctor. Do you understand? Maybe one doctor during the day, one doctor at night. My own, they have to be like 4. Maybe 4 in the morning, 3 at night, or do you understand what I'm saying? The number of nurses will be more because I have more admissions. The number of beds is more. The size of the hospital is bigger. Utility, everything is more. I thought about that thing. We started hospital already. Like, this guy, even maybe is 2 or 3 patients or 4 patients per day. The guy might even be somewhere else. They'll just call him, or his patients will be appointments. But maybe those cases are maybe surgery. One surgery is 10 million. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I can now say that. What are these things? Are there not people who do it? Where are the equipment? Let me go and get those equipment. Let me look for people. Let's talk now. You can come and do it. We have this conversation. I'm already looking at something that can end up being 20% of my action that will give me 80% of my results. But I'm a smart guy. I already have something that is taking care of that volume. Can I create something to borrow from what he's taking and add it? Because the overhead of that one, we take care of this overhead. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm just using all these examples as they come to my mind to just tell us how we need to sit back after this seminar and look at all our processes and trust that as the mind that we've been developing every day can come up with the right solution. You also think lean. You have to think of eliminating waste. That's why I just put these are frameworks. You just apply them from time to time. And there's another thing that just came to mind. It's not here. You could also have what you call daily check-ins. Even in your place of organization, in order to look at effectiveness, you can even check. You can, maybe the heads, are you guys free? Come, let's talk together. Just ask questions about their processes. Sometimes given, like I give my people assignments, this thing that you are doing, have you thought about, are there faster ways? Are there quicker made without compromising on standard to achieve these things? Sir, we can do this, but we don't have this equipment. But if we do this, how much is the equipment? We bought the equipment. Everybody's smiling now. Because I just realized in my employment, I have people who can handle some of these things, but those things will refer them out. But by virtue of having conversation, I realized I can get those things without spending so much. And the expertise was already there. And then we just started doing it. It was from just asking questions. So the idea didn't come from me. I actually asked them, this thing you are doing, this is our goal. This is our financial goal. This is what's currently coming from your department. But we can do more. What do you mean? This data. Because we record those things. So doctors saw this number of patients in June. They send these people to go and do these tests in the lab. Doctors see the value of all the tests they went to pay outside. I looked at it and said, hey. And we already have this here. All we need is to buy this one to add to it. We can be doing it. How much is all of this thing? The total amount to buy those things is equivalent to the amount of money they went to go and pay for 1 month. Sure, you know the simple thing. We have bought it. Because you know that. So now, I've told them, I bought it for you. Oh yeah. Show me the money. The results. Thank you. You get what I'm saying? But it did not come. I didn't start out the whole thought. I questioned what they're doing. I know that lady now. Okay, I've always known her. She's always been outstanding. She has always been outstanding. In fact, so bad that the one in January, she wrote a letter that she's going. They told me, I said, take that letter, go and give it to her. That I will come and sit. I now said, what is this going on? One uncle came and said, here. As long as it's not that you have issues, what's the uncle saying? What's the uncle? All these things, that one, they are still going to look for it too. But all the things that job was promising, I gave it to her. Agreed on everything. Because still within my power to do that. Because of our track record over the years. That's why I say people are where they are because of the way they are. There are other people that have said they wanted to. Thank God, I don't have to sack this person. Do you understand? But one of the things we can do is that hurdle. You can go, have conversations. This thing you are doing, can you do it better? And people who are brilliant, because we are developing their minds, they can go and bring something, and then you guys can talk about it. And is this thing effective? Yes. Is it efficient? It's effective but not efficient. How can we look at it? Then also make your goals smart. So let's look at this, which is what I've just been talking about. Now, if you are running a business and your services are high on effectiveness and you use minimal resources in achieving them, which means they are high on efficiency, what happens? The business will thrive. If it's high on effectiveness, you deliver out all the time, but there's still a lot of wastage. It will only survive. 100 million came, 95 million went out. Do you understand? Our first year of running a hospital, I now want to do audit. They now did audit. They now added all the money that came in, and that's all the money that went out. It was small. I entered depression. I'm telling you, it was my wife that now said, see, we use this to buy this equipment. So we do not waste the money. Then I calm down. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But if all you, and then, of course, early in business, and that's what we are taught, as much as you save also, you reinvest in the business. Because after a while, the profit that will come from the business, the profit margin will be higher. So you don't want to stay here. Let's even talk about this one. You don't even want to stay here. You want to stay here. It means that first you have to ensure, because if your business is not effective, it's not delivering on what it's saying, it doesn't matter. In fact, if you are now blowing through your resources, death is quick. Do you understand? This one is dangerous, like this one. Because if you are still managing, the business is dying, you might not know because it's dying slowly. But let's leave here. The first thing, what we are doing, we know how to do it well. So you've learned how to do it. You understand what I'm trying to say? You might be the most courteous doctor. You smile, but if you don't know the medicine, this is where you are. Do you understand? So we have to learn the product. As a surgeon, you get what I'm trying to say? Because different things happen at different stages of our business. I think in the first 16 months or something, there was a patient has high blood pressure, pregnant. I hope I have time because when I enter story, the nurse was treating at home. Her husband lives in Ogun State. Her husband gave her money for antenatal. She went to give nurse. When she was about 7 or 8 months, she developed high blood pressure. The nurse was still giving some of the drips you should not give. Say like, wait, so she could no longer, she now became blind. The nurse continued the drip. God that will save her. The nurse did not quickly come one particular morning. So she wanted to get something. You know, she was crawling. So she was knocking stuff down in her sitting room. Neighbors now said, what's going on? In fact, we've not seen this woman for some time. They now saw her. They brought her to me. Knowledge has said that the blindness is because of, do you see the water that's all the fluid that you see, the leg is swollen, the hand, the eyeball is also swollen. That is why. So I told them, we need to do this and do this, probably around 3 days, because I've experienced it before when I was working in Tolu. You understand? I say within 3 days she should see. On the 3rd day she saw. You know that I became Jesus Christ. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, the husband was not around, so it's the entire people in the house, streets. So you see, those people just went to town that they have found another Jesus. See, but if I did not know how to do it, even though I'm the nicest doctor, do you understand? So this chart tells that you must know your product. Your product must be top class. Because if it is this and you learn this, you probably will be able to eat from time to time, but in a matter of time, this will go. So this must be clear. Then the next thing is to ensure that we are very efficient, so that what we are talking about is that we thrive and not just surviving. One more slide. Sorry, this is not that finished. It's like what's going on here. One more slide. That's the conclusion, actually, because we're at the end. Now, we have gone through all of these things, and we have talked about culture, because what happens, what you experience, is actually what you have permitted. Either we are effective or efficient. The result is actually what you permit. And that's why the quote says that you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems and processes. Thank you very much. You can clap now. So that's the last time. So I don't know if you have questions. Anybody have any questions? Any comments? Okay.
Thank you very much, our teacher for today.
Amen.
There was something one of my takeaways is that live by example. Business is an extension of itself. That is why we have to continuously improve ourselves. Even you mentioned it, it was a point, but I realized it while I was doing some consultancy for businesses, one-man businesses especially. You just find out when you want to help change things that the business, whatever it is was wrong with the business, is actually what is actually wrong with the person. The maybe driving of things for so long, maybe even a logo.
Yeah.
Really darling on a logo for like 15 years, things like that. Then you find out that whatever the problem is with the business is actually what is a personal thing. It has to do with the character of the person. So I got that, I just got that, but it was something that reminded me of that. Then you mentioned under strategies for efficiency, and how the example you gave about about someone who went ahead to help with collecting money, collecting cash. When I was working, there was something that happened earlier on in my career in banking. And in banking, when it comes to processes, systems, it's very rigid. I don't know about now, it could have been a bit more relaxed, but very rigid. There was an example of something that actually happened. You're supposed to submit your check to authorizer before you pay cash. Something as simple as that. I was the manager, I left, I had a meeting, I went out, and the head of cash got this check and looked at it, and on the face of it, everything was okay. And instead of giving it to the head of the department to authorize before releasing the cash out, then it was 1 million. Releasing the cash out, he paid the person. Yes, it's something that would have been doing it. It's not something that is strange. When you look at the face of it, it had experience. Everything is okay on the face of it. Look at the back, and he gave the check out the cash out to the customer. Only for us to find out the next day that packed everything after the whole end of the day for the authorizer to authorize, and everybody went home. Only for us to find out the next day that another check. That was when we had a lot of clone checks. So there was another check that couldn't go to clearing. That was where the wahala started. The person who issued the check, the customer who issued the check, got the check and said, yes, I issued this. I did this check. Lo and behold, it was the fake check. And people said it was the one who everybody had to go to the disciplinary committee. And the issue was, I was even trying to support the man because they are friends about, I think, about 12, 13 years, to support him that it was a mistake. But what they brought out was that if that could happen, it could that's how they would be losing money. He flouted the process.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. The process was not followed as it was meant to have been followed. That was the only thing. That was why his job was terminated. Like that. And it's not something that, when you think about it ordinarily, you could have done it. Anybody could have done it, So that was what it reminded me of that. And that was the era of clone checks. Clone checks were flying up and down. So processes are very important. So you don't just pat somebody on the back and you tried. Yeah. You tried. You saved the day. Let the person know that you still flouted. What you did was not proper. You could have brought it up and find a way to do that.
Thank you very much. Please let's clap for her. So let's bring Mrs. Folake. Please let's give her a round of applause as she comes for the health talk.
Good day, everyone. How are you today? Our usual. Can we do a recap? Yes. Oh yeah, let's start. Okay. What are you doing with water? We're trying our best. Doing your best, okay. And the next one? Sleep. Are you doing 8 hours? Okay. Another side to sleep is that try your best to have a particular time you go to bed and a particular time you stand up from bed. Okay? Okay, the third one? Exercise. What are you doing? Are we dancing? Dancing, staircase. Okay. And number 4? Nutrition. Okay. Are you getting better at that? Are you being intentional? Because for you to achieve that, you have to be intentional. intentionally eating what you're supposed to eat and trying to avoid what you're not supposed to eat. Okay? And the next? Is somebody avoiding stress? Eh? Are you learning to take it easy with yourself? Permit me to speak Yoruba. Are you pare? As in, the world will not come to an end if you don't do some things. Allow yourself. Rest. Trust me, if anything happens now, the world continues without that person that is gone. And the next one? Okay, who has done a massage? Nobody. Take care of yourself twice. Good, I trust you. And after that, natural remedies. I gave an assignment that only Dr. Shodipo did. Yes. Who? Okay, please tag it. I need you to tag it so I can see it, but I only noticed this one. All right. Not to take your time, let's go ahead with today's little talk. Today I will be talking about something that a lot of us do not know that it can have an impact on your life. And that thing is cleanliness. Cleanliness. Being clean. Should I call it hygiene? I saw some things, and that's one reason why I'm talking about this. I'm not trying to be spiritual, but I want to tell you something. Anytime you leave any dirty thing around you, it affects you in different ways that you don't even know. Number one that will shock you is spiritual. I saw a video that explained that, you see, you that leaves plates on your sink in the kitchen unwashed till the next morning, you are inviting some things into your house. That dustbin that you don't empty before you go to bed, you are inviting things into your house. That place in your house that you leave unswept, uncleaned, you are inviting a lot of spirits into your house. Please go and search about this that I just said. And I also recently saw something. In fact, this one, for those of you that know Aproko Doctor, is the one that mentioned it. I never thought about it. Moles. I never knew moles actually can make you sick. MOLDS. Moles. You know, there are sometimes you put something somewhere over a period of time and it will have something like algae, something greenish, black or something. You understand? On it. Those things can make you sick. Please, if you follow Aproko Doctor, go and check his post on that. Maybe on Instagram or TikTok. You saw it. Thank you, ma. So, we have a lot of things around us that we overlook that actually makes us sick. It doesn't only make us sick, it can actually affect your spiritual life when you are inviting bad spirits into the house because of uncleanness. And also, do you know that if you are not being a tidy person, it's not only about cleanliness, so it's also about being organized, putting your house in the right order. I'm talking specifically now because about the house. If you are not arranging things in your house very well, check very well, you will be clumsy. You will not be well rested. That's the reason why some people don't sleep well, because where they are resting their head is not tidy enough. And also, it can make you to be unproductive. Of course, when you are not well rested, it can make you to be so distracted. You won't, thank you, ma, confusion. You won't be, organized on things that you need to do. This that I'm telling you, just say that Folake is lying. Google it. Google is your friend. Abi, check it out. And like I said, I've given you an example of one thing that Aproko Doctor mentioned. Please, being clean, be intentional about it. For a lot of people, we also don't know something. Me, I make it a weekend thing for myself. And that thing is, when it is Saturday morning and Sunday morning, I open all the windows in my house. All the windows. You're doing that to allow fresh air. Whether you use AC or you don't use AC, please try this. And you'll thank me later. It gives you some kind of freshness. Let there be ventilation, cross ventilation on every part, from every part of the house. Let good breeze come inside the house, okay? And also be intentional about cleaning and clearing out corners. If you have things you don't use, somebody once told me that if there's anything in your house you don't use for 6 months, that thing you don't need it again. If you have not touched it, be it clothes, be it shoes, be it anything, please give it out to somebody that will put it to good use. And guess what? Motherless babies plenty for Lagos. Correctional centers are very plenty. So it is not only food that you can carry to motherless babies' homes. Things like this, you can take it there. It helps you. If you don't have any individual you can give them to, that will help you clear out your house. Some people have toys that their children used when they were 2-3 years old, and the children are teenagers now. For whatever reason you are keeping it, now only you know. You understand? So please, let's not keep what we're not using, because those are the things that can clog the house. So, and they also now say, let me end with this. Cleanliness is next to... Thank you very much.